Hello everyone, and welcome to my Owen and our American TV show official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the dark, on a bridge over water, Sharon balls up her gloves, throws them in the hatchback of her vehicle, which is open. She then closes the hatch and goes into the driver's seat crying and horrified. Sharon opens the door to leave Daniel's apartment when she comes face to face with Heather, who questions what she's doing there. Sharon says she's waiting for Daniel, who had to pick up Lucy, but urged her to wait for him. Heather frowns. "You're lying." Sharon insists she's telling the truth. Heather tells her to stop it. Daniel had supper with Phyllis and Summer tonight and is at the club having ice cream with Lucy right now. He clearly did not tell her to wait. She advises Sharon tell her the truth. "Did you break in?" Sharon says no and makes a move to get going. Heather won't let her leave and asks what she's looking for in her apartment. "What do you want?" Sharon tells Heather if she'd quit accusing her of things, she will explain. She says there were things still left unsaid, so she called Daniel and he had the superintendent let her in. Heather responds that she spoke to Daniel shortly before she got there, and he didn't mention it. Does she not believe he'd notify her that the woman who's been threatening them and screaming at them would be in their living room? Sharon just knows that Daniel told him to wait there for him. Heather swears this is a lie and announces she's phoning him. Sharon interrupts her by saying she picked the latch on the door. She wanted to inform Daniel that she thought it would be best if he left town. Heather wonders how she knew they were thinking about leaving. "Are you bugging my apartment now, Sharon?" Sharon laments that she's not on the witness stand. Heather threatens she's about to be if she doesn't come clean. Sharon begins to scream over Daniel killing her baby girl. Heather informs her that Cassie was driving the automobile. This was a sad mistake done by two youngsters, and Daniel has suffered ever since. He feels remorse, and if it's not enough for Sharon, Heather is sorry. "What do you want Daniel to do? Do you want him to die? Would that settle the score for you? Because it wouldn't bring Cassie back." Sharon hollers that seeing Daniel tears her apart. "He's everywhere I look." Heather asks, "So your solution was to break into his apartment and tell him that?" Sharon says yes. Heather tells her they considered leaving, but they didn't want to send the message to Lucy that running away from their difficulties is okay. "Sorry to disappoint you, but we're staying." Sharon doesn't think she's sorry for anything. Heather says she's sorry for her because she needs expert help. "I don't know what this is, but to be completely honest, it scares me. You terrify me." Sharon is taken aback. Heather feels the only thing Sharon's genuinely regretting is appearing to apologize to them. Spotting a sliver of broken glass on the floor, she asks Sharon, "Did you do this?" Sharon denies it. Heather doesn't buy it and exclaims, "What the hell is going on?" Holding the glass, Heather asks Sharon what she done. Sharon says it was like that when she arrived there. Heather reminded her stated she'd just discovered it. Sharon tells her to believe her or not. "I don't care." She tries to escape again, and Heather gets between her and the door. She decides she should call the police and pulls out her phone. Sharon pleads with her, "Please don't do this." Heather says, "Then tell me the truth." She knows she didn't come there to merely talk to Daniel. Sharon tells her she's said everything she has to say. Heather tells her, "Have it your way," and starts phoning. Sharon knocks the phone out of her hand. Heather tells her she's sick and wants to see someone as soon as possible. "Maybe I should call Nick." Sharon says she'll paint her as a crazy lady and cries. "Don't call him." Heather replies fine, but she is going to contact the cops. Sharon says she won't bother them anymore. Heather says she obviously came there to accomplish something. She can only suppose it was to damage Daniel, or maybe all of them. She will do what it takes to protect her family and get her out of their lives once and for all. Heather rushes for her phone and Sharon makes for the door. Heather tries to stop her, and Sharon slams her to the floor. Heather is unconscious for a moment, and then comes around. She tells Sharon, "You are out of your mind." Sharon's vision fades, and then she hears Cameron telling her to wake up. Heather is unconscious on the floor. Cameron adds, "I don't think she can hear you." Sharon tells Heather to wake up constantly. She lifts her head and there's gobs of blood. Sharon exclaims, "Oh my God." Cameron asks her to check her pulse. She does, and there isn't one. Sharon panics and exclaims, "Oh my God, oh my God, what have I done?" She wails that she has to call an ambulance. Cameron stops her. He claims Heather is dead and it wouldn't be a great idea to call anyone right now. Sharon yells, "What do I do?" He tells her to calm down. She cries, "How am I supposed to calm down? I may have just killed someone." Cameron observes, "Well, it wouldn't be the first time, would it?" Sharon instructs him to shut up. Sharon wonders if she can save Heather, but Cameron warns her nothing she does is going to affect the outcome. Sharon sobs and wails as Cameron rolls his eyes. She shouts that she's sad for Daniel and Lucy. How could she have done this? What is the matter with me? Cameron says that's a whole other conversation, but the only thing to do right now is to clean up her mess. It's not like it's her first time getting rid of a body. He wants her to figure out a way to make Heather disappear. Sharon won't do that. Cameron suspects he'll see her in prison. He informs her she's been seen in public bullying Heather and her family. She broke in there with the goal of poisoning Daniel. He's convinced the police will put it all together. Sharon protests that she blacked out. Cameron chuckles. That's what everybody said. Sharon says Heather was alive previously. She told her she was out of her mind. Cameron continues, "Now she's laying dead on the floor, and you don't have an alibi. Maybe she was right." He encourages her to take a big breath and cowboy the hell up. Daniel and Lucy will be home any minute and she needs to get to work. Soon, Sharon brings blankets out. Heather's phone rings. It's Daniel. Cameron says he's probably on his way. Sharon continually says she's sorry as she wraps Heather's body in the sheet. The blood soaks through and Sharon reels. Cameron begs her to hurry up. Does she want Lucy to see her wrapping her mom up like a pig in a blanket? Sharon finishes wrapping and tying up the body. Cameron informs her she'll have to dispose of the body. People will be seeking for Heather, Daniel, Lucy, Nick. Sharon asks why he continues bringing him up. Cameron points out her biggest worry is Nick abandoning her. Sharon gets back to the business at hand. She wipes off the leftover blood, gathers the glass fragments, and pulls the body out by the elevator. Cameron points out she's leaving a trail. Sharon gets to cleaning up more blood. Finally, she pulls the body into the stairs and brings it down to her car. Opening the hatch, she places Heather's body inside and closes it up. Sharon looks about in the dark and then heads back upstairs. In the apartment, Sharon looks about and picks up a stray piece of glass. She pulls out the trash containing the remainder of the broken glassware and puts it all in a tote bag. She also puts Heather's phone, pocketbook, the empty bottle of whiskey, and the bloody cloths inside. Turning out the lights, Sharon departs the flat. In her car, Sharon puts the tote bag on the passenger seat. Cameron asks whether she's sure she didn't leave anything behind. He fears the least shred of proof might send her to jail for life. Sharon tells him she got everything. She snatched her phone, handbag, and even the empty bottle of alcohol. Cameron's impressed. He assures her, "One more stop and you can go home." Sharon starts driving. Eventually, Sharon stops the car and gets out. She unlocks the hatchback and drags Heather's body out. She's on a bridge over water. Sharon hoists the body up over the railing and begs, "Please, forgive me," before pushing it over and into the water below. Distraught, Sharon closes the hatchback after throwing her gloves inside. She climbs back into the driver's seat and starts screaming and wailing while beating her hands on the steering wheel. Back in the motel room, Sharon sits on the bed and tears. God, what have I done? Cameron says, I understand how you feel. Sharon asks, how could you? You were a monster. He never had a soul. Cameron informs her that blaming him won't get her anywhere. You own this, Sharon. At some time, she'll have to accept it. Sharon asks how she takes this. How does anyone accept stuff like this? Cameron thinks they're similar. Sharon says she's nothing like him. Cameron thinks if she gets caught, the police will beg to differ, as will her family. Sharon panics. Is she meant to just pretend like nothing happened? Cameron says, yep, that's what you do. She'll have some awful nights, but she'll have to find a method to disguise it. This is her private hell, and it ought to stay that way. She must carry on as if she was never there tonight. She looked astonished and surprised at Heather's disappearance. There is nothing that ties her to any of this. Sharon thinks the cops will want to talk to her. Cameron tells her she'll come up with an unbreakable cover story, but she can do that tomorrow. Tonight, it's okay to grieve. Sharon asks, grieve for who? Cameron says, yourself to start. If she can't find a way to live with what's happened, she'll lose everything. She'll have to convince herself that none of this really happened. Can you do that? Sharon says, I don't know. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I will see you guys next time.